We're here with another episode of Conversations and Connections. We're the official podcast of the Family Crisis Center of East Texas. I'm Stuart, the prevention coordinator for the agency, and with me is Kim Riddle. She is our SANE nurse here at the agency. Actually, we share Kim with Harold's House, and I always like to try to have Kim on in February because February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, and teen dating violence prevention, Kim, is a topic that is near and dear to your heart, isn't it?
Absolutely, Stuart. As a forensic nurse, I do provide care to survivors of sexual assault, family violence, intimate partner violence. And so I firsthand get to see the effects of this violence on teens as well as teenagers who have experienced intimate partner violence themselves or teen dating violence.
Yeah. Well, and some people may not really think about teens having to deal with something as serious as relationship violence. You think, oh, there's two kids, they're goofing off, they're dating, and it's nothing at that age, anything serious and whatever. But unfortunately, it is something that even a young person really might have to deal with.
Absolutely. And teenagers, their relationships are kind of a reflection of what we see in society. Mm-hmm. And they do not have experience in really dating relationships and what a healthy relationship should be, and maybe what even would constitute what we would call an abusive relationship.
Right. Well, I think, and this probably isn't just kids. I think anyone, if you're in an abusive relationship, always refer to it as, you can't see the forest because of the trees, that you're right there in it. But even because you're right there in it and all these things are going around you, a lot of times those signs just may not click with you for whatever reason.
Oh,
or if it's your first relationship, maybe you think, well, this is normal. This is what people do.
Right. And they may confuse things like extreme jealousy being a sign of affection.
Oh, he likes me. He's just
right.
so
he
enamored.
He always wants me with him.
Yeah.
Right? And then they lose those friendships, and then they're isolated with that partner who may increase the abuse.
Yeah.
So it happens to teenagers every day, and it is a very serious problem. And our kids just aren't getting the information so that they can make better choices for what type of partner they want.
Right. Well, and I kind of hate to say this, but I want to say this. There has been a few times when we're like, of course, February, I go out to the schools and do presentations. And I guess it was last year, I had a parent call me ahead of time. Of course, hey, I hear y'all are coming out to talk to my kid about relationships. What are you going to be talking about? And of course, I explained it to him, and I think he was fine with it. But he also made the comment that, while this kind of thing needs to be the kids need to be taught this at home. Well, hey, that's fine, but how many kids are really being taught this at home? Or how many kids are in a home that has another abusive relationship going?
Oh, absolutely. Because intimate partner violence is a public health concern. It's so prevalent. So we do know that kids are seeing this in the home. And so this may be their only experience as to what a relationship is.
Right.
And so we know that 81% of parents don't think that their child is in any kind of abusive relationship. Because kids may not tell their parent. They may not realize that what they are experiencing is abuse. And then they may not tell the parent because they're afraid of getting in trouble, or maybe they're not ready to end the relationship and they're afraid that the parent's going to make them end that relationship. So social media plays a huge role for our teenagers as well, and a lot of influence on what they feel is acceptable.
Yeah. Well, I think some kids also just, how kids are. I don't want to talk to my parents about my love life, what goes on. That's embarrassing, or that's,
Absolutely. Right. They're very guarded.
Like yeah.
Even when you have a really good open relationship with your teenagers, there are some things that, they just may not want to discuss with you. And they are developing into adulthood, and those peer relationships are very important for them. Mm-hmm. So they may talk to their friends. Yeah. But their friends have, limited experience as well. And of course, their advice may not be exactly what needs to occur.
Right.
But they would most likely be more comfortable speaking with their peers. Mm-hmm. So So educating all of them, maybe those peers can help direct them.
Yeah. So, does teen dating violence, is there anything really specifically different from that than domestic violence between adults?
Well, domestic violence can be anyone in the home, right? But that intimate partner violence, that's between dating or married partners or former partners. So really the violence is just as lethal. I mean, teens kill their partners.
Right.
So it's just as lethal. It's just that they may use other forms like social media to intimidate those partners. So, of course, we see that social media with adults as well. But teenagers, their whole world is kind of where they're at, like their social environment. And so there may be more peer pressure with a teen relationship.
Right. What does teen dating violence look like? And you kind of mentioned like the social media aspect of it. I think there's so many times when we talk about dating violence, domestic violence, relationship violence, people immediately just think of physical, the victim with a black eye, and that's it. But the truth be known, there's a wide gamut of different forms that this can take, how this can manifest itself.
Oh, absolutely. And so many of those things you may not see, such as the emotional abuse.
Yeah.
You have gaslighting. You have partners who will put them down or call them names or make them feel like they're imagining, the abuse that's occurring in that relationship. You have the extreme jealousy. That control factor is in there because we know, right, intimate partner violence, family violence has to do with power and control.
Right.
And just like in these younger people, right, they're going to have those same dynamics. You have the physical abuse, which that's easier for us to identify, right, when they do have that black eye. But you have sexual abuse, so it can be any type of sexual contact that the partner's not comfortable with. Just the stalking. There may be stalking behaviors. Maybe they're calling their phone 100 times a day or texting them relentlessly or following them or threatening them. So it can take on many forms besides just that physical assault.
What are some of the signs that a parent can look for? If their child may be a victim of dating violence, what are some of the telltale signs that they need to watch?
Parents really need to work on having that open communication with their children and just being aware of any type of behavioral changes that they may have. If you notice that they're maybe a little more depressed or maybe they're isolated a little more, their friends aren't coming over anymore, maybe they're just with that, with their boyfriend or their girlfriend, and maybe they've quit some of the activities in school or social activities that they used to enjoy. Maybe they've changed how they're dressing or what they're eating. Maybe they're starting to diet, more than what they used to. So anything like that can be just a red flag just to be aware of. And it's really important that we try to identify those things early because we do know that teen dating violence can lead to suicide in young people.
Right. Do you think relationship violence, and I think I've asked you this nearly every time you've been on here, we hear about it now. I want to say in my day when I was a teen, you didn't hear about teen dating violence. I'm not saying that it didn't happen. Do you think it is more, do you think it happens more now? Do you think it's more common now than it used to be years ago? Or is it just becoming more known through efforts like ours, through media, things like that?
I feel like the violence based off of research has increased in all avenues.
Okay.
And so, like I said, those teen dating relationships are just going to be a reflection of what we see as a society as whole. And there is so much access to social media. It does play a role into what we find as acceptable.
Right.
And yes, do we know about it more because there is more awareness? Yes. But yes, overall violence has increased.
Yeah. How big of an issue, and I know this happens, but how big of a part does it play when you hear a parent say, oh, well, that will never happen to my kid. My kid knows better. My kid knows not to put up with that. I mean, we know victims that have said that, how can you combat that? How can you convince a parent that everybody needs to hear this? And it's not, their little baby, can unfortunately be affected by this as well.
And it affects everyone.
Yeah.
So it affects all socioeconomic areas, all genders, all racial ethnicities. It affects everyone. And if you close your eyes and you are not aware, you're doing your children an injustice, right?
Yeah.
We want to be sure that we give them the tools that they need to make the best decisions. So education is always going to be important.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not going to be your child, but maybe it is going to be someone that they know that they can help direct towards some help.
Sure. What can parents and schools do to educate their kids? I'm thankful that my calendar for February is filling up with presentations at some of our area East Texas schools because they're allowing us or they want us to come and do presentations to these kids. You have some schools that are a little more reluctant, for various reasons. But what can parents and schools do to educate their kids about dating violence?
You have to have open communication. You have to talk to them about the possibilities and how to be safe, and maybe not just always focus on the abuse, but teach them about what is a healthy relationship,
right.
What is a loving relationship, what are things that you want to find in your partner, and what is maybe not what's unacceptable
yes.
as well. But it's just important that we give them the tools and the things that they need so that they can make the best decision for them.
Well, and that's what I like about when we go do our presentations. We're not just talking to the kids about, well, these are the signs, this is what you need to look out for. We do talk to them and show them examples of what a healthy relationship looks like. What are healthy behaviors between a couple, right? It's
right.
not just, well, don't do this, don't do that, look
right.
out for this.
right.
I just always am fascinated by you. What has given you the incentive and the passion to have teen dating violence kind of one of your pet projects or your passion projects? What is it about teen dating violence that really has lit the fire underneath you?
I do care for survivors of abuse. Mm-hmm. And I would say that my passion is mostly for those kids. Kids are our future. And I feel like it's so important that we educate them so that they can have the best future possible. And I feel like it's really up to all of us. And if we can all work together, then, we can make this a much better place to be.
Yeah. All right. Any parting words before we wrap things up?
Nope. I just appreciate you letting me come in and talk today.
Excellent. Thank you again, Kim Riddle. She is our SANE nurse, and of course, that's a sexual assault nurse examiner. Kim is the one that goes out, unfortunately, when we do have sexual assaults and interpersonal violence to say that again.
Intimate partner.
Intimate partner.
Intimate
violence.
partner violence. Yes.
To look at the victim and determine some things. So, Kim, I really do appreciate you. And if you feel like you need the services of the Family Crisis Center, we do have our toll-free number. That's 1-800-828-7233. Subscribe to Conversations and Connections. You can do that via Spotify or Apple Podcasts, pretty much any podcast service of your choice. And if you would like to donate, go to the website, FamilyCrisisCenterofEastTexas.com. There at the bottom left, you'll see a donate button. Click on that if you would like to make a monetary donation to help survivors of relationship violence. Be the voice, if not for you, for someone else.